Welcome you all. So this is the class we are here to discuss about statically indeterminate structure and their analysis. Basically, if I'll talk statically indeterminate structure, whenever I am saying its name suggests, as if you'll go to very simply its name suggests, statically indeterminate means you cannot determine the structure by using static equilibrium or static conditions only. Although we know the very first time when we have discussed about the mechanics of solids, we have discussed or we have assumed that the structures are obeying the or following the relations of static equilibrium conditions. That means by default they must have to be analyzed, or the necessary output or the unknowns can be obtained by using only static equilibrium condition. If so, then why then the need of the statically indeterminate structures has been came into the picture, because we also know during the mechanics whatever the you have studied, like truss, beam, whatever the structures you have studied, during the discussion of that structures also you might have heard about or you must have seen that some of the beams are trusses are again engaged or linked one over another, beams are being attached. Or if you'll see the number of rods, then if you'll the rod beam frame, if I'll define, I need not to define just now, let's say in this way, if I'll say a rod having only one degrees of freedom, or at a time it can take one kind of displacement kind, or axial load can be taken by the components, can be called as a rod. And a beam that has 2 degrees of freedom, that means it is not only take the axial deformation, but also it can take the rotation due to the bending moment. And if I'll take the frame structure having all this, if I'll add a rod plus a beam, then I'll reach the next point is the truss. So similarly in the truss, if you'll say number of beams elements are there, and all these beam elements are under not in always in the static equilibrium condition. If or you cannot solve the values or the unknowns by using static equilibrium condition. Unknown values if I am saying, but in mechanics we can able to do, there is no issue, because at that time we are not considering the straining of that material or the within the body whatever the straining is happening, we are considering only the force versus displacement or force versus motion or cause and effect. That's what we have studied in the mechanics. And various time I have shown you a beam during my discussion of the video. I have shown a beam like this composite structure I have shown. So this composite made up of carbon epoxy, as I said, if you can see the carbon epoxy is there, carbon fibers are blended, or matrix material is epoxy. So this is also one kind of statically indeterminate structure. So in if I'll say truly, all these structures, or every structure or every components which are in a real life situation, they are not a single structural component or structure is statically determinate. That means we cannot solve by using static equilibrium conditions only. If so, then what do you need to do? Then what are the conditions, or what are the axioms we need to follow to reach the solution or to obtain the solution, the corresponding solution? In order to do so, there are some methods are there, we will discuss about that. Again, what are the structure or structural component, we will say the statically indeterminate or statically determinate. In that respect, if I will say, as I have already discussed what is statically determinate, that means I am showing a beam over here, you can see the beam over here, and this beam is a simply supported kind of beam. You already know about this simply supported kind of beam, you have the idea about the simply supported beam, and which is it is just supported by two ends and it is having some load. Then if it is the having the load, then if I want to find out the unknowns, that means the reaction R1 and R2, if I find out the reaction, or if I want to find out the reaction, then the static equilibrium condition which has been shown over here, all the forces and moments along their corresponding direction, and the R has to be or in order to maintain this equilibrium condition, they have to be 0. If they are maintaining 0, then we could able to find it out. Let's say if I have shown some the same whatever the beam over here. So it can be represented like R1 plus R2, total reaction has to be equal to, and they are sharing the total load W, where the L is the span length. If I'll consider the total span length is L, then considering the beam about rotating about 1 point, then all these conditions we can put, we can find it out the solution of the statically determinate structures. But at the same time, if I will go to the statically indeterminate structure, I am, as I said, only static equilibrium condition could not able to satisfy all this solution. Then what are the static equilibrium condition and how to solve? Then I need equation of equilibrium, what we just now discussed about. That means static equilibrium condition, extra compatibility condition, force displacement relation, or displacement diagram, use of displacement diagram, by which we may able to reach those solution, or we could able to solve this. Now, what are the cases? Now, mechanical stresses in bolt, turnbuckles, mechanical misfits, pre-strain or pre-stress cases, or stresses induces due to the temperature effects. I will not discuss about this particular lecture. Will not will focus up to mechanical misfit and pre-strain, pre-stress cases, but not the other cases like stresses induces due to temperature effects. It will be discussed in another lecture, different lecture. I'll talk about the temperature stress, how to to find out this temperature stress, if a combined case or a combination of components are there, if it is under temperature, or if it is both a temperature or thermomechanical loading, then how to find out the stresses. We'll discuss about that in a different lecture. Here we are only focusing on the mechanical kind of loading. Now, here I have shown some of the beam cases, like beam 1, simply supported or hinged, we normally name it, and I think most of you have seen the kind of beam. And this is another kind of beam, it's called propped cantilever, which is one side is fixed, another side is supported by a hinge or simply support condition. One more case of the beam is fixed both. And out of this all kind of beam, if you'll see this free condition, or all these 5 beams I have shown, only 1 or 2 cases, that means the first and fourth, these 2 kind of beams in generally we face, or if I'll go for the beam number 5, the free condition, we do not have any kind of, because if I'll go to beam 5, it will have no use in mechanics of material, or we are not solving any problem using free beam in the mechanics of solid course. We are only solving either other of this, all these 4 has been shown. And again, for the statically determinate cases, the first one and the fourth one, most probably we say statically determinate, or other 2 cases like beam propped cantilever or fixed beam is a kind of statically indeterminate. These are the some cases where I am talking about the mechanical, as I said, mechanical misfit. All these examples I tried to show some kind of example. Like one name I have said, turnbuckle. These are the kind of turnbuckle you might have seen. These are the applications. Some of the application you might have seen at the place of when wires are been electric wires are tightened by using turnbuckles. On other cases like crane, the big vehicles having crane are trying to pull or pick up something, there are also some turnbuckles are used. Or in generally we have seen the turnbuckles, all the other cases, other kind, these are the kind of, some kind of turnbuckles are shown over here for the sake of understanding. And you can see these turnbuckles are basically the first kind of turnbuckles you can also see. And the railway wagons are attached with each other by using also the turnbuckles are used. In between some knuckle joints are there. That means it says when it turns, every one turn, these are the threads are been shown, and these threads are when it is coming in, that means tightening is going on, then this whole structure is try to buckle means it's one kind of bending due to axial load is called buckling, and we'll talk about the buckling. So based on that, it has been named as turnbuckle. So you need not to worry about buckling and what is buckling, and all these cases we are not going to take into account in this analysis at least. Now one more case also you can see, these are the kind of hubs which are been used in our cycles. You have seen that means a bolt has been passes through, or the axle has been passes through a hub, and this hub ends are associated with the pinion or gears kind of thing, or free wheels are attached to that. Those are also one kind of statically indeterminate structure, which is day to day life. Wherever you will see, every single place will have statically indeterminate kind. Then if so, then how to solve and where to solve and what are the methodology? We have already discussed that. To solve these problems, that means also in other way we can also define the statically indeterminate structure. One, the static equilibrium condition is not sufficient to solve this problem. For that we need some extra or additional additional equations, or in other way also sometime it is also defined like if the number of unknowns is not equal to the number of equations, or the number of equations are not equal to the number of unknowns. If the number of unknowns are higher, then we could not able to solve the problem. Then static equilibrium condition, and this static equilibrium condition alone will not give you the solution of that. If so, then we need some that is called either force equilibrium condition, and then after that the force equilibrium condition, also the compatibility condition. Compatibility condition again based on the kind of your compatibility condition basically talks about the displacement or deformation kind. So we will talk about that in our next slides. So statically indeterminate structure can be shown. The members in which forces or unknowns can be determined by the principle of static alone is called statically indeterminate. Or we can also say the above situation is very common when two or more members different materials comprises together to produce a single element. Just now I have shown some of the case of turnbuckle or one hub, where you can see two different members are combined with each other with another third party or in between them. Then the that means they are meant for to solve one single problem, but we need two different members to take this or to solve this issue or to take this load. Two different members are necessary, but they need to work together. If they are working in together at a particular single element, like a single element, then this kind of situation may arise, or this kind of situation will arise every time. To solve that, in order to overcome such problem, to solve this unknown equations or obtain deformation condition are known. Like the number of unknowns are not equal to the number of equation, so the unknown to solve that, so the deformation condition or the that is also known as compatibility equations are being derived. Again, what is compatibility condition? Slowly we will get to know what is the compatibility condition. Here I have shown a bar consists of two or more bars of different materials in parallel, is known as a composite or compound bar. In such a bar, they sharing load by each other. If you will see this example, it will be more clear now. Let's say you can see the bar, two different bar, 1 and 2, the components. The one is the tube, and sorry, one is the rod and 2 is the tube. The rod is passing through the tube, and the end of this assembly has been attached with the some kind of you can say washer or some end condition constant. That means this assembly will not get out of this. This is the whole assembly should not go out of the. This is the assembly has to be maintained, the whole assembly. These two are the end support condition, are not allowing the body to get out, whereas this 1 and 2 are making the whole assembly is made by these two. Now to solve this or to express this equation of this particular condition, so how to write this? The P which has been shown in the equation number or this figure has to be shared by P1 and P2, because this 1 is transfer tube and 1 is transfer rod and 2 is transfer tube, and the deformation of the bar has to be same. And the deformation of the bar means the bar which is gone inside, the bar has to be maintained the same amount. The bar, if it is coming out of that whole or if it is trying to coming out, then the tube is going to compress. So the tube and the bar has to maintain the same length. We are considering in that concept. And you see, based on that, the deformation what we know from our earlier discussions. So total change in deformation, the change in deformation delta is nothing but PL by AE, and that PL by AE, utilizing that relation, that means the load, length, area, and Young's modulus. If I know, I can find out the change in length, and if the change in length I got to know the deformation of the bar and the deformation of the tube, which has been represented by subscript 1 and 2. Wherever the subscript 1 is given, it is termed as the bar related components, and wherever the subscript 2 is given, it is related to the tube part. Now from this relation, this is called force equilibrium condition, and this is the deformation condition is called, because if you see the figure which I have shown, only load is given, and that load has been shared, and nothing has been given extra. That means E might be given and area might be given, then length has been given, and the load is only P is given. So we need to calculate P1 and P2. If the two unknown, only one equation we are going to get. So that equation, it is not sufficient, that means P has to be shared by P1 and P2. Then we are putting this equation, the deformation equation we incurred into that to get the solution. And basically here the steps has been shown how the total load is coming, and how much the load will be taken by the different component, that means tube as well as bar will be shared, the total load will be shared by them. It has been calculated by using this relation. And from here we can directly write, from the deformation condition we can write P1 having a relation with P2, where P1 is equal to P2 into A1 by A2 and E1 by E2. Now putting this value of P1 in the equation number 1, I can get the value of P2. So we get all this relation in terms of P2. So now I can write P is equal to P2 into A1 E1 A2 E2 by A2 E2. Similarly, the P2 can be obtained directly here. So if P2 is equal to, if I know the external applied load to find out the second part of the tube can be obtained. When it is P2, I will write here A2 E2 by A1 E1 plus A2 E2. If it is I want to find out 1, so you just see there is a direct relation. That means if I want to the second component, it may go up. If it is P3, P4 like that, if it is 3, 4 components, here these relations are up to. This holds true for only 2 cases. If 2 or more than 2, then the condition will change. And how the condition will change, we will slowly going on discussing all this part. First of all, a simple kind of very simple kind we have put over here, or example has been considered to find out the forces, and how the forces has been taken care by 2 different components. Now in the same manner, one more case has been shown, like fixed beam kind of thing has been shown. If the reaction of the internal forces cannot be found by static cell on more unknown forces and then independent equations of equilibrium, when the final results dependent on the material from which structure has been made, that means AE we are talking about, E particularly we are thinking about E. Whatever the relation we have written here, you just see. Here 2 unknown forces, that means 2 unknown forces with the fixed beam having some reaction, they are creating some reaction, fixed end reaction. We do not know that reaction, but we are applying only one force. And there again not acting exactly at the middle. It is, if it is acting in case of simply supported beam, we have seen in the case of simply supported beam we can get this thing easily directly by putting simply supported beam, by considering the total load shared by these two end, and by considering the moment about 1 point, we could able to get the same. But now here in this case, the double, when it is a fixed beam, it is again, as we know, it's a statically indeterminate structure. We could not able to get the solution by using this. Then what to do, or what is the procedure by which we normally do it? It's the same steps has been shown over here. The all first of all, it has two different part of that. That means one is RA, another is RB. I need to calculate, and RA will try to if it is one side, if it is you just see the both side, it is statically redundant condition has been shown. If the load is there, then how to find out the steps? It is called the method by which we are finding out. It is called flexibility method. What do you mean by flexibility method? If somebody may ask what is the flexibility method, I think most of you know about the spring. And if I want to find out the spring stiffness, we know F is equal to Kx. Normally we write F value, that means what I am saying, if I will apply a load on a spring, then that spring can be, the spring deformation can be represented as F is equal to, we write normally F is equal to K into X, and at that time we write X is the deformation, F is the applied force, and K is the stiffness of that body. That is spring stiffness of that body, means I am talking about the spring stiffness. So if I want to find out X, then X is equal to F by K. I can write in this form. So if K is the stiffness, reciprocal of the stiffness is called the flexibility. So here, that means the stiffening, the structure is going to stiffer if I am increasing the number of constant, then I am not allowing the body to move. That means the structure is going to be more and more stiffer. I could not able to solve that, then I am making it flexible. One and one, every case you just see, one by one I am removing the support, and I am finding out, and that means I am releasing the structure. I am releasing the structure, then I am finding out the solution. If so, then the total deformation which will act due to the A or due to the B or due to the P, whatever the load, the end points which will move, they will try to move, there may not be any deformation, since it is fixed beam. We know from our earlier discussion that if I will put a nail on a wall and I am hitting from one side, from the nail side, sorry, the wall side, the nail may not go inside. It is not allowed to move in that side since it is fixed. So similar thing it will occur over here. So it may deform in other places also, or other deformation may count. So the total deformation which will be counted, it can be the total sum of the deformation at individual points. And similarly, we have taken in earlier case both are same, because it is allowed to move. In earlier case when we have discussed, that means for the case of a tube and rod, the amount of the deformation of the rod has to be the amount of the deformation of the tube. That means the amount of the deformation, or if the rod is trying to come out of the assembly, the same amount in a tensile form, that means the same amount of the compressive load should be added or should be given by the tube, by which it will nullify. Now here in this case, if I will just both side was in earlier figure which we have shown, which I have already shown you, that the both side is fixed. That means this is the beam, both side is fixed. It is not going to, or it is not allowed to move neither in the right side or not in left side. So the force, if I will apply some force in between, so the amount it will stretch from here, the same amount it has to go inside. The total deformation, since it is fixed, so it has to be equal to 0. There is no such deformation will occur, and that is called compatibility equation. And that compatibility, in this case the compatibility equation has been derived in this form. So similarly, some other cases, so how to find out, then we are just trying to find out individual PL by AE and PL by AE, from where we can get the relations, or we can able to find out their corresponding RA and RB reactions. So these are the some of the steps has been shown here. As I said, 1 by x. Similarly, E and E into A. Basically, the E means the Young's modulus of that material, and A is the area. In total, if I will multiply, we are going to get the stiffness of that material, or stiffness of that beam, or stiffness of that structure. And reciprocal of E into A is nothing but the flexibility. E into A, if the stiffness, then reciprocal B by EA, that means 1 by EA, 1 by K, it represents like 1 by K. So it is called the flexibility. So from the flexibility equation, or from the flexibility, we get the compatibility. If I want to find out the deformation compatibility, we normally follow the flexibility equation. If I want to find out the reactions, then we need to go for force equilibrium condition. That means whatever the load will be applied, that force will be shared by all different points, or all different ends, or all different, every point has to be taken, or if it is one component, or if it is, you see, first case we saw there are two components are attached with each other, they are in assembly, and that is one kind of case. Here the same, a single structure, but due to constant condition they are creating a statically indeterminate condition. That means first I have shown some kind of beam, then I saw we have discussed about the turnbuckle and hub and all this kind. So first one method by which, if there are two different components are attached with each other, we utilize the force equilibrium condition, P is equal to P1 plus P2, and the deformation PL by AE, PL by AE. So from there we can get this the unknown solution, or to get the unknown solution we do that way. Now in the second case, when we have discussed about a fixed beam, where we know if it is a fixed beam, it is no slope, no deformation, no motion is allowed. So that means the total deformation which will occur, it is not going to have any deformation there. So the total compatibility equation delta A or delta is equal to, has to be equal to 0. Based on that compatibility condition or flexibility condition, we derive the values of RA and RB, and first of all we derive the value of RA, then based on that RA, the total P, if it is known to us, we can able to find out the next value, and that is called force method, or that is called force equilibrium condition, by utilizing the force equilibrium condition. Similarly, here I have taken one example, the Turnbuckle example I have taken from Gere book. You can see I am not going to solve this problem, but I have shown some similar kind of issues where this if you go through the equation, the question, the slack is removed. That means if these are the two cables, in between the copper tube has been gone, and we are just turning this by right side. If I'll just rotate in this form, and I can get, if I'll turn, it is saying that the slack is removed, and this slack is removed by just now the slack is removed from the cables by rotating the turnbuckle. How much, or how we will get that? This is going to rotate in this form, or this is going to rotate in this form. If I'll tie it from both side, or if I'll just rotate this turnbuckle, this slackness from both side, it will, this cable will try to come from this side, and this cable will try to come this side. In both the cases, these cables are trying to come inside towards the turnbuckle, by which it will tighten, but it will not give any pre-stress condition. The slack is removed from the cables by rotating the turnbuckles until the assembly is snug, but with no initial stress. If I tight it more, then it is, I am not going to, I don't want that extra amount of the rotation to get into that stress value. Now find the forces and tubes. These are the problems we are going to discuss in a different class, but here I am just showing some example of the turnbuckle, or how the this condition arises. So if I want to show one more case here, a concrete beam has been shown. The concrete beam having 7 different rod. It is asked to find out, just I'll discuss about that. A reinforced concrete column 200 diameter is designed to carry an axial compressive load of 300 kilonewton. Determine the required area of the reinforcing steel if the allowable stress is 6 megapascal. It is interesting that already it is asked to find out the reinforcement of the concrete. It is asked to find out the compressive load is already given. The column diameter is given, 200 diameter is given, and to carry axial compressive load is given, because determine the required area of the reinforcement. It is asked to find out the steel rod which is in whole area. If the total diameter 200 is given, so what should be the area is captured by this reinforcement? That is, you need to find it out. This is one kind of a reinforcement. Due to the reinforcement, like this case, the fiber has been reinforced within the epoxy. So the total area has been occupied by both matrix, because two different material, or if you go to the concrete, again 3-4 materials are within the concrete, you may or may not have the rod. Rod as a reinforcement, it will take the tensile part, the tensile load which will come on the material, it is going to take the tensile load, and mostly the concretes are made for to take the because they are compressive, their compressive strength is high, so they are basically meant for the compressive loading kind. or to take the compressive load. So it is asked to find out the same. Determine the required area of the reinforcement of the steel if the allowable stresses are 6 megapascal. The allowable stresses I think we have already discussed the allowable stresses during the discussion of your my fourth lecture. I have discussed about the allowable stresses, what is allowable stress and how the allowable stress changes, and the factor of safety and margin of safety. During the discussion of the factor of safety and margin of safety, we have already discussed. Now if we want to solve this kind of, you see, everywhere wherever there are two different material is within a bunch, or they are trying to maintain a same length, we follow to get this the first kind of method. That means the deformation in concrete has to be equal to the deformation in the steel. That means the amount of the deformation, since it is under tensile case, or rods are capable to take, or the reinforcements are capable to take the tensile part. If there is a tension, always it will try to extend, and if any material under compression, it is always try to compress, or the dimension has to less, or it has to reduce. So the amount of the tension has to be equal to the amount of compression. Based on that concept, the first compatibility equation has been written. Now the concrete that has been the mathematical form has been written PL by AE. The same thing. And now the stress, if I'll talk about the strain, because I know the deformation. If I know the deformation, I can able to calculate the because I need to know the stresses. It has been given the values of stresses, so I have written the strains in terms of the stresses. Now the same thing has been extended little bit by saying that the values of the Young's modulus values are given 14 Pascal, or for concrete it is given 14 GPa, and for the steel it has been given 200 GPa. By putting this value, we got a relation between the concrete, the stress value. There is a relation between the sigma concrete and sigma steel. We can see 100 of sigma concrete is equal to 7 times of sigma steel. That means if I want to find out sigma concrete, I can say the sigma concrete is equal to how much? Again 6 megapascal and 120 megapascal as it has been given. By putting that value, I can get. Why I am doing that? Because it has to be same, no? So 100 into 6 has to be 7 into 120. So 100 into 6 is equal to 600, and 120 into 7, 840. So they are not equal. If they are not equal, that means it should not exceed. It is already said that the allowable stress has already been given. So the allowable stress, if it is given, then the value, you can see the concrete value has been already, based on this condition, the concrete value has gone higher. That means on that case, the concrete is going to not or unable to, it is more than allowable stress. That means there is a chance of failure. That doesn't mean it will fail immediately. We have discussed many times. So still, if it is 6 megapascal, based on the 6 megapascal, we have to think now. So what are the corresponding values we can get? Sigma concrete and sigma. You see, the sigma concrete is 6 megapascal, which is, it has to be equal to 7 sigma st. It should not go beyond of that, what just now I said. Now sigma steel is we are getting 85.771 megapascal, which is given 120 megapascal is the maximum allowable. So it is well below on that. Then we need to calculate the area. If I want to calculate the area based on this sigma concrete, whatever the value is given, we go with the not 8.4, rather we will go with the 6 megapascal, and from there we can get the total load is given 300 kilonewton, it has been given, or based on that we can able to calculate the total force constant. So force is not given, so in terms of stresses we got, and the areas has been given, and we need to find out the steel area only. So based on that we can write all these relations, and we can finally get the steel area, and whatever the steel area we got, that steel area, that means that much of this 6, 7, 8, whatever it will have the number of rods, it has to be again, since it has not been given any values or how many rods will be there, if based on that the total area we can find out, and the rest are concrete, and the out of that area again it will be shared by the individual components. As I said, one of the case is mechanical misfit. This is one kind of mechanical misfit. That means it is due to the eccentricity, it may create some statically indeterminate condition, because it has been, if you'll go through the connections, or it has been bounded at here, all this, there are 3 points here, also 3 points, and if I am giving some load over here, so there might not be a uniform deformation will occur. So some part of the deformation, it may rotate about this point or about this point, and at the time of rotation, if it will try to rotate about this point, or it will come towards down, so this part may go up. Or a uneven type of rotation or uneven type of deformation, when once I'll just push over here or push from this point, there might be chance of rotating at this last end, the EF may not continue the same. So due to this mechanical kind of misfit, also all other mechanical misfits are also shown. If the different material having, let's say the first case, if the all materials are same, Young's modulus are same, diameters are same, so it may not be affect much. Or if it is the effects, if there is some effect, then how to find out? That is also one of the cases we can find out the statical indeterminate conditions. Similarly, the second case, one more case I have shown, where one steel and 2 brass bar, and however the load is at the middle. So due to the diameter or due to the material Young's modulus, it is also changing. So similar way, one more case has been shown. As I said just now, I was discussing about the nut and bolt assembly, or a copper tube is passing through the steel tube. Copper has a different, and if it is under temperature, let's say, if it is under tension temperature, or if it is under, if I am tightening also, the Young's modulus are not same and alphas are not same. If alphas are not same, then if I will heat it, then they will have different kind of non-uniform kind of deformation. So similarly, some initial stress conditions, I want to say what is initial stress condition. Just I want to read it out, and some conditions I will show. Likewise, concrete, I don't want to discuss any problem, but that problem can be discussed later. It frequently happens that before any load is applied, some part of the machine structure, it is already in the state of stress. How? Let's say, as I said, in a cycle, if I'll talk about the axle passes through, with a axle at the end, it has been tightened. Then after the tightening, if I'm putting some load from upper side, let's say in the carrier or the front side, it is already, all the different component of the cycle is already tightened. That means it is already loaded condition. Now if I'll put somebody is riding on the cycle, though all these connection or joints again from external load come into the picture. That means already it is in equilibrium condition. It may or may not be in equilibrium condition. Most of the time we are considering they are equilibrium condition. After that, external load is coming. That means initially they are pre-stressed condition. Then after that, this condition may come. Then how to solve, and what is the steps to solve? And this, at that time also we have to take the help of statically indeterminate kind. So in other words, the component is initially straight before the external forces are applied. Bolted joints and connection, what I just now said, for example, involves bolt which pre-tensioned, subsequent loading may be or may not be affect the tension in the bolt. Most form of a welded connection, the welding connection during the welding, due to the high heat, also they have been deformed. And some, in terms of, if there is some deformation, it may not come out of the assembly, but at the same time, due to, since they are not coming out the assembly, we know when there will be no strain, so automatically a stress developed. Since there is a stress developed, that means it is a pre-stressed condition. Now the welded joint is under a loading condition, externally loaded. Initial pre-stress was there, now I am loading it. So it is a statically indeterminate kind of structure. Initial stresses can also be used to considerable effect in strengthening the certain materials. In some cases, there are advantages as well. It is not always true that the pre-stress condition means it is like, if I'll talk about, I'll give example, pre-stress condition. The rails which has been, the train is moving on rails, and the rails are on the, again the concrete beam. If you have seen, all the rails are passing through concrete beam, and those concrete beams are initially or pre-stressed condition. The rods are passing through, or the original shape, cross sectional area, or that beams are not straight in nature. Those beams are initially chord beams, and those are also called as chord beams, initially chord or pre-stressed beam. So pre-stressed has been made, intentionally has been made, that can take extra amount of the deformation as well. For example, concrete can be made more effective material by pre-compression in the form of pre-stressed concrete. The problems, one problem I don't solve any problem, as I said, I am intentionally left that. So one more case I am just showing the pre-stressed condition, that one case it has been shown. You just see, in this case a 2.5 centimeter diameter steel bolt passes through the steel tube of 5 centimeter internal diameter, 6.25 centimeter external diameter is 40 centimeter long. The bolt is then tightened up onto the tube through rigid blocks. The rigid blocks at the end you can see, until the tensile force and the bolt are 40 kilonewton. The distance between the head of the bolts is for 50 centimeter, that means it is not coming out of that 50 centimeter. If an external load of 30 kilonewton now it is applied, so I have not solved this problem, I have given only to give an example. I have gone through the kind of different types of statically indeterminate cases. One problem only I have solved, I have not solved much problem on that in this particular lecture. So just now just to show the kind of different cases of statically indeterminate cases I have just gone through. So now it is also a one kind of, you can try to solve this problem. If it is possible, I will try to solve this problem and I'll upload another video regarding the solution of the problem I am talking about here. Now composite bar, just now I was talking about the composite bar here. A bar which is, this is not only a composite bar, another composite bar also you can see bimetallic materials. If two bimetallic materials are attached with each other, then let us say mild steel and copper, that is also a composite bar case. That means they are two different material having two different properties, having two different all physical and mechanical properties, and then they are under loading, then what to do? So that are also under statically. That means in a real life situation, if I talk about, not a, as we know, in a real life situation there is a no material which is rigid body in nature, all are deformable body. Similarly, in a real life situation, not a single problem is statically equilibrium, all are statically indeterminate structure. A composite bar is one of the made of two materials such as steel rod embedded with a concrete. Just now we have talked about the construction of the bar in such that constituent component extend or contract equal under the load. If it will not equally under load, they will come out of that. That means that either it will breaks or it cracks or some kind of defect it start generating. To illustrate that, if we will take, as we have just now taken in the earlier problem, the concrete problem, A1 and A2 like concrete, and A concrete, area of concrete, or 1 and 2 the material kind. So we can give the name A1 and A2 and their constants, elastic constant E1 and E2, their corresponding Young's modulus are different, and we imagine that the bar is rigidly connected in such a way that they don't come out of the assembly, then this relation satisfy. It has to satisfy this relation. That means to establish a compatibility condition or displacement based condition to satisfy, we are considering the strain happening in the first component has to be equal to the strain happening in the second component. If it not so, then it is not going to, we cannot say it's a compatibility condition cannot be established. So these are the cases, all these cases we have discussed, and if any other questions, please tell me, or we can discuss, and the problems we are going to discuss. Thank you.